of Baklava, presentation by me, by Fanta Jata. Uh, the author was, the author is Diana Abu-Jaber. She was actually born in Circles, New York, to an American mother and a Jordanian father. Her early life, so at age 7, they lived in Jordan for 2 years, and all the culture between the Jordan and the being American is like clearly shown in her work today of how she struggled or how she felt about mixing the cultures and having to learn that she could be both at the same time. And of her writings are Birds of Paradise, which is actually a synopsis, and it actually ended up winning the 2012 Arab American National Book Award. And her other writing, Origin, which is a novel it was named one of the best books of the year by LA Times, the Chicago Tribune, and the Washington Post. The short story that I read from The Language of Baklava was actually her first memo that she ever wrote, and it ended up winning the Northwest Booksellers Award and has been translated into many languages around the world. Her other writings are Life Without a Recipe, Crescent, and Arabian Jazz, which and all three are synopsis. They were one of her early works, actually. And today her life, she has a PhD in English and creative writing from Binghamton University, and she's a professor at Portland State University. She teaches writing and literature. She won one of her biggest awards was the American Book Award, which is the American Book Awards were created to basically provide recognition for like amazing literature achievements from like spectrums of America's like diverse community, and the purpose is to recognize great writing and like great literature and excellence without like limitations or restrictions about, I would say, your ethnicity, I think, or anything at all. And the Language of Baklava, her father grew up eating spicy foods, and he's always telling stories about how he grew up and everything he went through, basically. It's kind of like he wants her not to forget that side of her family, not to forget where he's from. Like, he's also part Jordanian. Her aunt tells her that, and this is a quote, her aunt tells her that your father is eating the shadow of a memory. He cooks to remember, but the more he eats, the more he forgets. She explains why she said that, and which is basically because although he cooks Jordanian food outside Arabic food, because of what she calls it, when he cooks Arabic food, it just does not taste the same as him eating Arabic food over there in Jordan, because she says stuff like something like along the lines of like the cheese is eating, that is not going to be the same. And the way I connected this was to the short story we read, If You Are What You Eat, Then What Am I? How she struggles with the food, American food and Indian food, trying to bring them together, trying to be a good Indian daughter, but at the same time trying to embrace her American side. And for Diana, so her aunts help her connect both the sides by baking her all the time. And she even tells her aunt that she hates Arabic food, but at the end she ends up loving it because that's just who she is. the whole point that to her aunt coming was because her father felt that she was forgetting her roots and how she was speaking was disrespectful because she talked that to her dad, which was all set up with school because she said the older she grew, the more fights they basically had. Like it was just a disagreement right there because he blames her whole adolescence like on the United States and he thinks that she should stand up to Jordan because then she would be the good Arabic girl that he wants her to be. And she wants her there, same with her a certain cousins, like some of her cousins, polite and very obedient to their fathers, and they treat them like officials of the house. Then like a family member, it wasn't they didn't have that close relationship with their dad because it was more really another level of respect, I would say. And the daughters would lower their voice, bow their heads when they're talking to their dads, and were really respectful, which her dad thought that she was now. So I'd say, thank you for watching my presentation, and have a good day.